All right, well, let's look ahead to tomorrow. Our Eagles taking on the Packers, but in Brazil. Total 49.5, very high total, but unders have been really good in week 1, 23-9 in the last 2 seasons. Considering the travel, Brazil, what do you think? Does this number feel too high?
No, it doesn't. I probably like the under as well. A little bit similar to the Kansas City and Baltimore game because of defense. I do think it's going to come down for me to the Philadelphia defense. This is a big stress, Green Bay's offense, so many moving parts, a lot to look at. A little bit of the young element on Philadelphia's defense. If they settle in and play a little bit better than I expect, I feel real confident in that. But both offenses are going to present challenges. Saquon Barkley, that addition. But just because of the newness to some elements, I like that under as well.
Jalen Hurts was doing an interview, I think it was last week, talking about the loss of Jason Kelce and how Kelce was responsible for all the line calls at the line of scrimmage. Like normally Peyton Manning would come out, he'd get everyone set.
Sure.
Hurts wasn't doing that. So Hurts is now taking that on. How does that impact the offense?
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive undertaking for a quarterback to kind of take control of that because you got to know it and you got to know it real quickly. Cam Jurgens is going to step into that Kelce role, who's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. And that's the number one thing I'm looking for is how communicative they are. Do they see it the same way? And again, you got to all see it the same, and it's got to be 3, 4, or 5 seconds. I still want to know, is Kellen Moore, who's their new offensive coordinator, is he going to borrow a little bit from Shane Steichen? Because as good as Jalen is, he's not great unless they're utilizing that quarterback run. And I don't, Jason was so unique as far as intellectually, but also the movement that he has. Can Cam Jurgens replicate that? Because that's really when Jalen got going with a little bit of that run game because they could follow and get on the perimeter. I want to see if Cam Jurgens steps into not only that control type of method, but also the athleticism on the perimeter.
All right, Dan, here we are starting the season in September. When we get to February and Super Bowl 59, what team's lifting the Lombardi Trophy?
Yeah, I've greased 4 of the last 5 Super Bowl winners, just so you know. I don't know if that's actually just made it up.
Said it with confidence.
Didn't have to tell people at all.
I didn't sell you on that one?
It didn't pass the smell test at all.
So my NFC Championship game, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
And I think Detroit wins that game.
Okay.
And then in the AFC, back and forth, I went Houston versus Kansas City, and Kansas City wins that game. Kansas City, Detroit in the Super Bowl, and as much as I love the 3-1-3, I think we witness history and Kansas City three-peats.
That is a 5-1 favorite at ESPN BET to three-peat the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Maybe the best price you can get on them if they start this season with they win. By the way, checked at the Palace of Fotenbaugh, -200 +180. I like the value on the dog.
I like that tie. I saw it this morning. It blends with the jacket very nicely.
All right, bringing it back to Anita Marks because we're not going to see her again on the show until Sunday. So we wanted the people to get a little peek at what you have for tomorrow and Saturday since we have NFL and then, of course, college all day Saturday. Let's start with tomorrow night in Brazil, Packers and Eagles. What's your favorite play on that one?
So this is really interesting. The line has dropped tremendously, at least in my opinion. It's gone from 3.5 and now it's all the way down to 2. So what am I going to do? I'm going to use it as a teaser. So I'm going to tease the Packers up to, I'm going to use that 6-point teaser there. I'm going to tease them up to +8. And I'm going to align them with the Ravens because I like the Ravens tonight anyway, right? Listen, they're on a neutral field. I think their offense is just as explosive. Jordan Love played like an MVP quarterback last season. I also like the over here as well. 2 offensive-minded coaches, neither defense very impressive. And last but not least, giving Jordan Love over his completion total. Like I said, dude was balling. You could argue so much depth at that wide receiver core for the Green Bay Packers. So that's the prop bet that I do like.